Welcome to the Synth Fighter podcast, baby. We're back once again. What's up, my man Echo?
Oh, you know.
You got the volume good?
Yeah, everything sounds great.
Nice. Let me get this. We got the superhero theme music going today because we got a superhero in the house. The one and only, the Daywalker, ECHOKRAFT. Once again, welcome. Synth Fighter episode, what are we at? Episode 7, I think now.
It's 7, yeah.
Yeah, we're rolling on. Who do we got in the chat? We got Jumping Man, we got Ecow, we got Arturia, DJ Dog Dad, Psycho Synth.
Nice.
Who else have we got in there? Unfaithful Journey. We got a lot of Kumatayers in here tonight.
All the samurais.
Looking good. What's up, people? 3, 2, 1. Looks like they're ready to go.
All right.
Let me just make sure everything's working here on the stream and excellent condition. Yep, we're good, baby. Let me just die out this Superman music and we're good. So what's happening, my brother?
Not much, man. It's been another interesting week.
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks is the perfect number, isn't it?
It's crazy. And it's cool because when we do this, we do it right after the Kumite.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Very cool, man.
You know, the Kumite was amazing. We'll get to that in a bit, but that was amazing.
Slew, slew. Everyone's throwing out the slew, slews, man.
Nice.
Throwing out the cha-chas. So that's cool, man. The Kumite just ended. It was a beautiful 8 weeks. It was something pretty special. It was a humbling experience, and I know it was an absolute pleasure to be debriefing with you all the time about it and talking about it, and it seemed like everybody had a real good time. Looking at the chat, did everyone enjoy the Kumite? Let us know, man.
Yeah.
But this week, we get 2 weeks. We get the podcast that happens every 2 weeks. It seems like the first week's a little... I'm always like, man, I don't think there's anything going to pop up. And then it almost seems like Lord Uli's watching and he's like, give the Behringer Bros something to talk about. So Uli drops a few little nuggets for us every second week and gives us something to talk about, almost like it's...
And it's been amazing.
Yeah. And whatever anyone says, no, Echo and myself are not on the Behringer payroll, all right? We are, we're polyamorous synth lovers. We're not monogamous to one synth company, okay? We love them all, and we love having relationships with them all.
Absolutely.
All right? Sometimes we get mad at them. Like, sometimes we get a little mad at Moog, but it's no big deal.
Oh, I'm really mad at them, but that's beside the point.
Well, yes, what's up?
I'm in love with my Hydra, man.
Yeah, tell us about it, man. You picked up the Hydra Synth since the last time, did a good demo?
Yeah, thank you. And I've been really playing with it and enjoying it. And you know what's funny though? I haven't written anything with it. So I'm feeling myself around with it. So I'm really getting to know it. Mm-hmm. And it's a beast, man. It's very, I said this in my review. I think it's an underrated synthesizer. I don't think that, I mean, I know a lot of people have them, and I know there was a lot of stuff, you know, on YouTube and stuff for the past 4 years of people doing demos and stuff, but I really don't think that a lot of people know about how deep the Hydra Synth can go and how amazing it can sound.
Most underrated.
I told you.
It's most underrated, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It gets not as much love as it should.
And I think because it is totally digital. You know, and it's not the big name. It's not Korg. It's not, you know, Korg comes out with a digital synth. It's like, wow, Korg, you know, digital synth. So I think, you know, and I'm not, believe me, I'm like you, bro. I got Korg City over there. So
baby, we're Korgis through and through. Everyone thought we were Behringer Bros, baby. We faked them out. We're Korgis. Come on,
Korgs, man.
We got any Korgis in the chat? Throw the little dog emoji in the chat if you're a Korgi.
Yeah, there you go.
If you're a Korgi, throw it in there. But let me tell you something about the Hydra Synth. The Hydra Synth, I think, doesn't get as much love because it's a proper Chinese company. And it's not a European company. It's not an American company. It's a Chinese company. And They made a really, really, for all the hate that the Chinese get for when it comes to bad quality, this, that, I don't think there's a synthesizer on the market right now that will show up at your house for what? Let's start at the bottom. At the Explorer for $5.99, at the desktop for $6 or $7.99, at the 49 key for what? 1,000?
It was 12,
and then the deluxe for 14. You're not going to get a better piece of gear, a better built quality piece of gear. The whole thing's made of solid steel pretty much.
Yeah.
You're just not.
That's crazy. And like the knobs, everything about it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
The key bed, it's got the poly aftertouch. It's not an Osmos. And everybody, is like, well, it's not an Osmos. Well, it's not. Osmos is a totally different beast.
Yeah.
And I have the Osmos right underneath.
What a combo. What a combo.
Which is cool because I've been kind of doing weird stuff with both of them.
Yeah.
And playing leads on the Osmos while I'm playing chords on the Hydra. So I've got that contrast going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, they live together. It's a happy marriage right now, I feel.
And beautiful little colors with the Osmos, with the old, what do you want to call it? The Butler color, the black and white.
Yeah,
and then
and white.
Then you got the Hydra Synth with that, what is it? Orange, isn't it? A little bit of orange.
It's orange and white and, well, it's got multiple colors too. So
yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet. And like I said, it's like if you had a girl write you up and say, hey, you want to go on a date? And she was like, meet me here, and gave you the address, and you showed up and it was McDonald's, and then you went in and a damn supermodel was sitting there. That's the Hydra Synth.
You know what I mean?
Agree. Think about that.
That's actually a pretty good analysis, dude.
Yeah, that's the Hydra Synth, dude. Yes.
It's very cool. I think that you and I were talking a little earlier today, and I think that if ASM comes out with anything, I mean, how are they going to beat this thing?
You know how, man.
I mean, the only way they can, we talked about it, and maybe an electronic digital drum machine.
The Hydra drum, bro.
Right? Like they got to do something because, I mean, they've come out with what? Four major synthesizers, right?
They came out with, what do they got? They got 4 that are all the same, minus the deluxe, which has basically it's 2 Hydra synths in one, is all it is, right?
It's 16 voice,
El double.
Yeah.
So listen, if they came out with the Hydra drum, dude, listen, ASM, if you're listening, in that Hydra drum, will you put in those crazy cinematic drums? You know, the ones that are like,
oh yeah, the big the big symphony drums.
Oh yeah, put the symphony drums in it. Like, do something absolutely epic. If you're going to do a digital drum machine, this is what they did. They did a digital synthesizer. They didn't try to be analog at all.
No.
But it can do analog. Yep. So if you're going to make a drum machine, don't try to be a TR-8S. Don't try to be a drum brute. Don't try to be a Korg drum log. Be a Hydra drum and put the most insane drum samples and sounds in that thing you possibly can, with a bunch of epic patterns already pre-built in.
But here's the thing. Being able to do that, because the Hydra synth is a wavetable synthesis.
Mm-hmm.
So think about a wavetable drum machine, right? I mean, what's the thing called? The wave, what is it? The Hydra synth. I still got to familiarize myself with it. The where you could go in and fine tune this. This is what 200 and something waves in there.
Oh,
dude.
like the wave morphing?
Yeah, like the mutation and stuff.
Yeah, dude, you can just go like, and it just.
I mean, you can create drum sounds on that now, but we're talking a dedicated drum machine.
I mean, I'm excited for something like that, dude. If they come up with the Hydra drum, I will get that instantly.
I totally would. I would actually sell one of my. I have several drum machines.
Yeah, which one would you sell to get the Hydra? It's a big choice, man. Which one would you to get the Hydra drum?
I think I'd get rid of the TR-8S.
Oh, see you, Roland.
And because I already have a TR-8 and I mastered that thing and I love it. And I bought all of the sounds. I bought the 606 sounds. I loaded them all in. Mm-hmm. And you know, the TR-8S has all that plus sampling.
Mm-hmm.
But I've only sampled a few things and put it in there. I just think that if there was a digital wave table drum machine, that would be something else to add to the, to the arsenal.
What about a price? What do you think would be a Hydra style price for something like that? Would you say $4.99? You think $7.99? Dude, they're selling the desktop for $7.99.
Right. So that's what I figured. Because of the desktop.
Yeah, $7.99. I'm saying $5.99.
I mean, yeah. I just think that if they put the same type of matrix in there and stuff, I think that being able to edit and things, I think $7.99 would be a fair price for that.
Fair enough. That's a fair price.
I mean, what's the TR-8S when I bought it brand new? I think it was like $600-700.
That's
right?
expensive, yeah. And I got the Korg drum log, and that's what $4 or $5.99 when I got it. I got it on sale, but I think it's even cheaper now. I think they're selling
the
like
Arturia drum impact though. That the drum brute impact, that was $2.99, dude.
I'd like to get a hold of that one. One thing
that's cool a cool drum machine.
Again, we don't want to go on this Arturia bender because we're both absolutely in love with Arturia now, and they've really had a cool progression with releasing synthesizers, and they really did it at affordable prices where they got people into their ecosystem or whatever at a good price. You had the Micro Brute for $2.99 or $2.50, the Micro Freak for $3.50.
Yep.
The Drum Brute Impact, what'd you say, $2.99? Is that what you said?
$2.99, yeah.
$2.99. All the key labs are fair priced.
Dude, the Matrix Brute was $19.99.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I went for that, because I couldn't afford. I wanted a Moog Voyager.
Yeah.
And I saw the Matrix Brute, and I saw Nick Batt's review of it, and Flux. I don't know if you ever watched his stuff. They all did reviews of it, and I said, you know what? And at that time it was duophonic. And I was like, it wasn't really that good. Like it was kind of still in beta, but as a mono synth, it was amazing. Now that thing does all kinds of crazy. That's one of my favorite synths. I'm
getting the Matrix Brute Noir. So listen, Hans Volt's
very nice.
Hans Volt's in the chat. I think this is one of the first podcasts he pumped in on. And Hans Volt is
amazing.
A vintage synthesizer aficionado. I guess that's how you say it. Go check out his channel. He's got absolutely crazy synthesizers. He's got Soviet synthesizers. He got vintage Oberheims. He's got the works. And he might not end up liking some of the topics tonight, but that's okay, But he loves the vintage. And I'll tell you what, if you got any questions about vintage, me and him had a chat in the comments today, and he made a huge post about Behringer because I did someone called my synth car video a job interview for Behringer. And I was like, that's pretty funny because I was going pretty over the top, but Hans Volt put a big comment there, and he was breaking down why he thinks the vintages are better and why. He made a good point. His point was, listen, if you're making music, you're making it for sound. So why wouldn't you always go for the best sound? And in his mind, the best sound comes from vintage analog synthesizers. Okay.
Right.
I'm a newbie to the whole thing. So to me, everything sounds good at the moment. So maybe I just haven't developed an ear yet. In your opinion, where do you stand on that when it comes to the vintage sounding, way better than new Behringer-ish digital,
I used to be a hardcore purist.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, as a drummer, I was like, nope, if it's not made out of wood and it doesn't have a skin on it and it's not real metal cymbals, it's not a drum. But over the years, having to buy an electronic drum kit because I had no choice where I lived, I started really getting into electronic drums. Synthesizers. I was always an analog guy, always purist, man. Started off with a Juno 106. I never mentioned this synthesizer, but I did buy one of these. It was called the Korg Prophecy. And it was a great little synthesizer.
Korg Prophecy.
It was about this big.
Yeah.
It was all silver and had this really weird barrel thing on it with a ribbon controller. It was a cool little synthesizer. It sounded more analog than digital. I think I might have had analog filters. I'm not sure. But I just think that in today's market and what I've learned about synthesis and how to incorporate different sounds and stuff, I've learned over the years. I mean, I had walled off stuff. You should have seen my studio back then. I wish I can't find pictures of it, but I had racks of stuff, and I had keyboards. I had a Fismo.
Fismo
by Ensoniq.
Ensoniq, dude. I wish someone would bring some Ensoniq style stuffs back with the cartridges. I love the cartridges.
Well, Ensoniq merged with EMU, and they created the Fismo, and everybody poo-pooed it. And it had some issues. I ended up fixing some of the issues with mine, and I really liked it a lot because it was, I think they call it transient synthesis. But anyway, I got rid of a lot of stuff and ended up buying a Korg M1, which was the digital age.
Yeah.
You know, DX7, M1, D50. That was the digital synth age. And, you know, after a while, I craved analog again. So
for what reason?
The warmth. But today,
like Nanny's blanket.
Yeah. But today, man, I got to tell you, like, I think the way synthesizers are made today, I mean, I had an original wave station, which was the wave state, and I had the original wave station. A bitch to friggin' program that thing. That was like a DX7 to dive into that thing. So I was digital. I went digital all the way, man. I was like, digital, this is the new sound, then everything started to sound the same. So I started craving analog again. So
like the prodigal son, you came back to daddy analog.
Back, man. Yeah. But today, you've got an array of machines now that just cover all the bases. And I mean, I've got a whole rack here of digital and analog, the MS1 analog, my buddy over there, the freak, digital with analog filters. Come on, hybrid synths, man. I think to me, that's the wave of the future.
I'm on board with you there. I think hybrids, for me personally, just what I like, hybrids is the kind of vibe that I'm into.
Well, I mean, Samurai, a lot of people were like, they didn't like they didn't like FM synthesis, and I was one of them. But the more I dug into FM synthesis, and like, for instance, on the MS1, there's an FM synthesizer control on there. There's there's FM synthesis on the Drum Brute Impact.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I mean, when you incorporate that stuff, I got to tell you, the creepiest, weirdest, distorted, nastiest sounds I get from the OP6.
Really?
With using wave the FM wave format. The Hydra Synth, that's got some nasty ass shit, man.
Yeah, that's next level.
I had a guy comment in my comments when I did. He's like, dude, your sound is distorted. It's like, yeah, I know. I did that on purpose. You know what I mean? Like,
that's too distorted, brother. And you're like, yeah, that's what I was going for.
That's what I was trying to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was messing with different wave tables, and I got this really nasty sound, so FM synthesis to me is very cool. So, I mean, I just think that, subtractive synthesis, FM synthesis, additive synthesis, just a whole plethora of tones. And to me, it's like you're sitting there as an artist, and you have your palette, and you have all your different colored paints on there. And, when I used to paint, believe it or not, I had acrylics and I had oils on the same palette. What I liked about acrylics is they dried quicker. Right. But then if I wanted to do something really interesting and stuff and mix colors, I would use oils.
Oh, that's cool.
Trust me.
Some people like going for a steak. Some people like going to the buffet.
Yeah.
I'm a buffet guy.
I'm a buffet guy.
I like
dude,
buffets,
you know what I mean?
bro. Listen, when I was in South Korea and we had the school, we used to take these kids on field trips. And so one day, me and my buddy, we were our business partner, Paul, we were like, let's take the kids to a buffet. And we were like, all right. So we took the kids to this crazy buffet, and we just let them go nuts. Kids were coming back. These are Asian kids too, Koreans. They were coming back with like plates full of noodles with 2 scoops of ice cream on top, and then like some steak on top of that. There's like 4 or 5 of them went and barfed.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. But yeah, I'm a buffet
Well, they
guy.
had fun.
Oh, they had a huge laugh. I think they, even after they went and threw up, they came back and had more.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. But
It's like
yeah,
what I used to do it's like what I used to do when I was drinking. But anyway,
yeah, back in the day. So yeah, so anyways, so the deal with vintage, hybrids, digital, VSTs, that debate can go on forever. I was listening to ECHOKRAFT'S live stream he did yesterday.
I didn't even get into VSTs, but go ahead.
Well, I wasn't going to get into VSTs either. I was just going to say that ECHOKRAFT did his video yesterday, and he was more or less saying that he's pretty much 100% VSTs now. You know, he's VSTs all the way. And then he says he goes back to his analogs if he needs some inspiration, but he finds for his work life, it's way more productive for him just to work out of a box, as they say in the industry.
Well, you know, it's funny. There for a while, there was a period in my life where I had a lot of gear and I didn't turn it on. I just stayed in the box. I was on a computer and I wasn't even using anything professional. I was using GarageBand. And I was using the sounds. I had a little MIDI keyboard. That was it. Mm-hmm. And I was happy. Yeah. You know, I was making these little tracks and I was doing my little thing. And, you know, it happened because it was right after I got divorced. So I just was doing this, you know, I was just kind of like goofing around. Like I really wasn't taking anything seriously. And I also started playing guitar in a band then too. So I wasn't doing a whole lot of electronic stuff. And I had a room full of gear, but I had sheets over it to keep the dust off of it. So, I mean, you know, I didn't really explore anything, but I started to, well, I shouldn't say that. I was exploring VSTs. I was exploring AUs, those plugins. And that kind of was interesting because back in the 80s, there were a couple of companies that came out. Reason was one of them. That came out with this plugin. And I remember Reason's first plugin, it was 2 TB303s and an 808. And it was a blast, but you couldn't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. You know, you just played it on your computer and it was having fun and tweaking the knobs with the mouse and all that shit.
I just can't do that, man.
It was because it was new, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
It was new,
yeah.
You know, and then that got tired. You know, I got tired really quickly of that. And I said, all right, well, it's time to twiddle some real knobs now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you know, it's just interesting how now we're living in this, I think we're living in a great time.
It's boomtown, synth boomtown. You know, it's the synth gold rush.
It really is. Because I'll be honest with you, in the 90s, Behringer was making, they were making mixing boards. They were making PA speakers. They were making effects. I actually sent you one of the rack effects that I had bought. They still make that rack effects. It's a multi-effects unit. I had a couple of Behringer compressors and things like that. So, I mean, there was nobody making, low-priced synthesizers. Mm-hmm. All your big guys were still gunning down, man. They were out there gunning, you know, you had Sequential, you had Yamaha, you had Korg, you had Moog, you know, you had Buchla, you know, that was it, you know? So, I mean, getting back to what you said too about the Hydra Synth, because it's a Chinese company, it's almost like people didn't take it seriously.
I think so. I think they did. You know? I think they slept on it. And now I almost even think that 5 years later, finally the Hydra Synth is getting the recognition because it never ever tried to be anything it wasn't. Where a lot of synthesizers now try to be something they're not. To go back to ECHOKRAFT, is it ECHOKRAFT or ECHOKRAFT? ECHOKRAFT's live stream yesterday, he was kind of rolling on that topic, but I have a question for you in a second about that. But he was rolling on the topic of a lot of these, well, basically his thesis was all the companies are scamming you. That's what he labeled the video. It wasn't clickbait because when you got in there, he hammered them.
Right.
He went at them. He was like, they're all full of crap. If they got a vintage button, they're full of crap. All these synths are got software under the hood that are digital. They're not true analog synthesizers. When they try to sell you, for example, the OBX8, he was saying, it's not an it's not an old school Oberheim analog. It's not. And he was just going on and on and on. And then he was going on about Behringer and blah, blah, blah. But I kind of thought he was doing a little synth espionage. I sniffed.
Kind of pulling a Woody.
Pulling a Woody's Piano Shack. For you guys in the chat who don't know, this is just a theory of mine. Woody did a little bit of synth racketeering and said, hey, the Arturia Astrolab is garbage.
Yeah.
And then, what do you know? He gets an Astrolab.
Wait, you missed one point.
Oh, yeah, well.
And you didn't send me one.
Yeah. He's like, the Astrolab is garbage, and you didn't send me one, wink, wink. And what do you know? He gets an Astrolab, and what do you know? He loves it. So when I seen ECHOKRAFT'S video yesterday, I was like, oh, is he doing some synth espionage here? Is he going after the OBX8? Hoping that they'll send him the OBX8 and then he can do a video about it. But after talking to you, and then I went back and rewatched a bit of it tonight before the show, and I was like, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm a body language expert, right? So I can read body language like a lie detector. And that guy was 100% telling the truth, man. He was feeling it. He was telling the truth, exactly what he was saying he meant. And if anybody hasn't watched it, go watch. It's a great live stream, I thought. He praised the Hydra Synth to all glory.
Yeah, so the thing is, what I liked about that was he didn't like you said, he wasn't trying to get them to send him something. He was just saying, this is all bullshit.
Yeah.
And
big respect to Epson for that, man.
Absolutely. And I'm a little guy. He's a big guy, right? Yeah. I do a video like that and I get trashed.
Oh yeah. But he what is it?
It's like,
yeah, it's like,
I was just like sitting there going, oh, okay. I didn't answer anybody. I was just like, oh, okay. But some people actually said, the video I did was actually pretty cool. And because that's how I feel. I'm like, you don't need to spend a whole lot of money on a synthesizer. Mm-hmm. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So right now, what do you got gas for, dude?
The gas radar? Yeah. So the gas radar, for the chat too, because we're doing this little thing, man. The gas radar. I like kind of starting the show, although we're about half hour in. You would know if it was an episode of InfoWars, right? So we're about a half hour in now, and we're just getting to the gas radar. What's on my the gas radar for me, and you guys in the chat too, throw what you got on your gas radar in the chat right now. I was gassing out for the TE-05. I went and watched some more videos on it. And then I really thought there was only one video that truly impressed me, and that was the video that said the TE-05 is the synthwave synth, right? And I went and watched that, and I was like, man, I'm really gassing for that. And to be honest right now, what I would like to get my hands on, and I don't know why, is the Pittsburgh Modular Tiger keys. For some reason, that's calling out to me. And I think it's because I have this weird curiosity with modular where I have the Neutron, and when they came out with the Tiger keys, which for one, it's absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And I'm a sucker for a pretty synth. I love that I love the knobs, I love the colors, and then the fact that they put that little expandable compartment on the right where you can implant like different types of modules for effects or LFOs or a different filter. I'm just like, this is a pretty cool synth. So if I had some money now to go get something that is not redundant to my setup, I'd probably, if money was no object right now, I'd go get the Tiger keys because I like that company. I like what Pittsburgh Modular is doing. I like the fact not only they're putting out synthesizers, but they're creating very cool content on their site. You know, they're putting some effort into making it interesting, engaging. They're doing live jams, which I don't know if you checked out any of their live jams.
No, I haven't.
Their live jams are nuts.
One of the things I like about Pittsburgh Modular is their filter.
The filter's
nice.
Really,
I had a Pittsburgh Modular setup, and the filter's really nice. But that,
you think it's creamy?
Yes.
Yeah, it's creamy.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
that particular synth did catch my eye. But I want you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
I want you to open up your email for a minute.
Okay, let's see here. I'll do it. You keep talking while I get her going.
So I want you to open up your email, and I want you to read to me what it says. It's
hold on here now.
A little certain something that
let me check it out here, baby. So while I'm doing that, you just tell me what you got on your gas list. Well, I'm going into the email here.
My gas list?
Yeah, what are you gassing over these days?
I don't know, man.
You just picked up the Hydra, so.
Well, in such a short amount of time, I got the Hydra Synth and I got the Mini Freak because I had some money left over at Sweetwater.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another. So did you get an email from Sweetwater?
Sweetwater? Yes, I did.
Okay, I want you to open that.
Let's have a look here. Okay. A gift for you. What the hell? What's this all about?
Go ahead and read that, dude.
All right, hold on now. Maybe I'll throw it up on the screen here. Hold on. That's totally crazy.
I was going to tell you to have Kate come up and stand next to you. But
dude. Man, thank you. That's so crazy, dude. Thank you, man. That'll help. That'll help purchase the synth for the award show, man. That's
no. That's not what that's for. Don't make me pull a kumite on you.
Oh man, right? Dude. Machines won. Thank you, dude. That's insane.
They all jumped in on the chat tonight. They wanted to be there for the surprise, and that's not for the kumite, dude. That's for you.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Spending that money for you. You told me that you had money burning a hole in your pocket.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you? No, slow down, right?
So hold on here now. That's crazy, dude. That's totally insane.
We want you to put the money that we raised for you towards that synthesizer that you just talked about. You're not spending that money on us because we will not accept anything from you.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. Dude, that's so insane. Thanks.
No problem, brother.
Everyone's like, hide the thing. I think I might have showed what it was, but showed the, what do you call it? The friggin' code. But what?
No, it's just that's.
Well, this is what kumite is about, right?
See that?
Yeah.
My wife said that's what the kumite is about, right?
Oh, man, I got to say, that's crazy.
Did you hear that? Karma.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means so much. That's insane. I just know you guys don't have to do that kind of stuff, man. That was, it was my pleasure to just be involved in this. So, dude,
you brought us together, and you brought the world together. I mean, think about it. Everybody's from different parts of the world. And when Machines One reached out to me and said, "Hey, dude, you want to do this kind of thing?" And we got together and said, "Echo, you were the one who talks to him the most, and would you like to do this?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" As a matter of fact, I was the first one to put money in on it. So,
oh, dude, listen, man. Thank you so much.
And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, dude. I'm not like that. It was an honor. And all the guys were they said it was an honor to do it as well. And the note that I put in there, I wanted to make sure the Machines won. I think Jumpstar was involved as well. They talked about it. So I just want to let you know, man, that we appreciate you and what you've done.
Oh man, I thank you so much for that. That's totally crazy. That's
you are not spending that money.
Very unexpected.
You're spending that money on you, bro.
Yeah, someone's like, I need to redeem it now because I showed the code. Fuck. Well, I don't know. I don't even know how that works. How do you friggin' redeem it? Do you know how?
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, man.
Yeah, I think I fucked up. But whatever.
Yeah, I believe what you do is you better go and redeem it now then.
Oh man. All right, listen. Tell me what's on your gas list while I do this real quick. If you had no money was no object right now.
Well, before we do that, I just want to let everybody know, I want to say thank you to everybody that pitched in on that too. And there was a lot of chit chat back and forth. Man, we had some major conversations in a private Discord. And I said, we got to switch back to the Samurai Discord when this is over, because he's going to want to get in on this stuff. So,
Oh, you guys had one already?
oh yeah, man, we kept this totally private and secret from you.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was a couple of weeks now. I think it's been like a week or two that, it was real hard, like not to say anything to you either, dude.
Wow, dude, that's so surprising. Like, yeah, it's got me speechless, to be honest with you.
Like sending me stuff like, dude, what do you think of this synthesizer? I got gas for this. And I'm like telling them in the chat going, dude, he's freaking me out. He's got gas for these synthesizers. He's got money burning a hole in his pocket. And the machines one is like, tell him not to do anything yet.
Oh, that's crazy. How do I redeem this card? Do anybody know?
Yeah. So you should be able to just go in, click on it.
Yeah, I did. Clicked in. And I'm looking what to do here. I can't see where.
I think when you won't go to purchase something is when you redeem it.
All right, hold on.
You have a Sweetwater account, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what you do.
I have to figure it out. Hopefully there's no douchebags.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then, I can make their life miserable because we'll just find out who they were.
Well, hopefully I'll get it after and then we'll figure it out. But anyway, everyone's like, you got to go now. I'm like, fuck it. But yeah, so that's amazing. I like I said, I'm totally blown away by that. That's crazy. You guys are pretty awesome for doing that, and don't think you had to do it, Well,
we also want you, whatever you buy, we want you to do a demo on it. And so hopefully you'll have that money for the Tiger.
Yeah. We'll see what happens if that money's there when the stream's over.
It freaking better be.
Yeah. Well, I guess it would be my own fault. But anyway, back to what we're doing. That's a classic move. But so hold on, what are they saying? See if you can get them to disable it. Call sales department. I think you go to Sweetwater if someone else redeemed it. Blah blah, and renew it. Blah blah blah. All right. Well, listen.
Well, I have the receipt too. So
yeah. All right. So can't do it now. Someone's like, just end the stream. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I can't just go end in the stream. All right. So that's it. It's no big deal. All right.
Well, I mean, you could still go in and redeem the. Hold on a second.
I'm kind of looking here, and I don't really see how I can. I'm in the kind of like thing here, and
go into your account.
Yeah.
And you're not sharing the screen with any of us, right?
No.
All right.
We're clear at the minute.
So you should go into your account, and I believe I'm looking at mine right now.
I'm looking. Someone's like, read the email. I've read the email, man. I just don't see what it's. Oh, maybe I should.
It should. There should be because I don't have my gift cards. I use them all in the Hydra Synth.
Yeah, basically it says I got to just go on and get something or call the rep or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone's like, you got to do it at the checkout or whatever. So.
Yeah, I think that's because that's what I had to do. When I bought the Hydra, I just put the. Well, I actually told my rep to do it. He did it.
Yeah.
He just took the money out of the two accounts, the two gift cards that were on there.
Yeah.
Because I sold gear on the gear exchange. And then he just put it towards the Hydra.
Well, let's just hope nobody's watching, baby. Let's just hope nobody's watching for the next hour.
Well, I think you're fine.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, man, it is what it is. Life is life. We'll see what happens. Well, let's continue on. So anyways.
Just want to say one more thing. We love you, brother.
Thank you, man. I love you guys too. You guys are the best.
All right. So, gas. This is what I got.
What do you got?
I really am enjoying the Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying the Mini.
Mm-hmm.
I get gas over little things too. So like one of them was this little camera that I bought.
Yeah.
which I'm not using here, but I'll just bring it into view here.
Oh yeah, what's the name on that one?
This is called the OBS bot, or the OBS bot.
Sweet.
It's a motion detection camera. So, you know, one of my things I keep wanting to try to start this new thing that I talked about earlier in a couple of shows back was I want to do the three machines thing, where I just take three pieces of gear and put together jams, and the whole thing is just going to be jams, no reviews, nothing. It's just me. And I got a little surprise planned for that.
Oh yeah, that's a very cool idea. I like the idea of that. That's super interesting.
Yeah. So whatever I have in the studio, like maybe I might take like the Edge and the Mini Freak and I don't know, the Donor, put them together, put them in a little mixer, use my Go mixer, put it on camera and do a little jam, you know?
I'm into
so
it.
that's why I got that camera, because it's motion detection. So it actually follows you. It's tiny. You see how tiny that thing is?
It's crazy small.
Tiny.
And you said it's got motion. So that's a cool thing to do, actually, if you put that in your studio, where you got all your synths kind of behind you, or like on an angle. And then as you're walking around, maybe like just like a studio tour. Super cool.
And the software, it comes with software, and the software they call it a gimbal. So it's basically a gimbal, but it's done through software. But I mean, I couldn't believe it when I did it and it started. So, I mean, these are the little things that I get gas for. I really want a TEO5. But I can't, man. I have no room. You know, there's no room in my studio at all. So, I mean, that's as far as I go as far as the gas goes, man. I mean, you'd thrown that out, a question out to the chat. Does anybody have gas for anything, or? Yeah,
anybody. I'm looking here. They're more explaining what gas is to people in here who don't know what gas is, I guess. But gas means gear acquisition syndrome, you know? And I got my foot on the gas pedal 24/7. I'm the guy who's embracing gas. I push gas, and I encourage everybody, if you got gas, to just go get exactly what you want, no matter what. Find any way you can to get it, because I want all the synths. MOAR.
What did you say to me today?
What?
You said to me today, I'm going to buy every single Behringer synth there is.
Well, this is actually, you might think this is crazy, but this is actually my plan. I've had this for a while. I just need to decide when I'm going to do it. What I'm going to do is every month, I'm going to buy one Behringer synthesizer. Okay? If I have good months, maybe I'll be able to get a Poly D. If the months aren't so good, maybe I'll have to go with a Mini. But either way, I'm going to get a Behringer synthesizer every month until I own all of them. And I'm not going to open them. I'm not opening them. I'm going to keep them all in the box. The biggest synth edge of all time. I'm going to keep them all in the box up in the attic. And once I acquire that last one, I'm going to plan an event, and I'm going to bring all the synthesizers there, and I'm going to call it Behringer Palooza. And I'm going to get either a craft beer truck there, a food truck, or I'll just bring a bunch of beer and a bunch of food, and maybe 2 or 3 people show up.
I like the food truck and the beer truck thing.
Dude, every Behringer synth, you could have a whole show with just that.
Well, you know, you could just set that up at the Synth Cube at Synth Fest in New England, and you never know.
Oh yeah, I guess you could do the Synth Cube. You could do that, but I'm thinking more of like a outdoor type of thing, you know?
Big tent,
outdoors,
belly dances,
like super booth, but American style. Yeah, but, you know, a little more American, you know, like we'll have a couple bald eagles, real live bald eagles there, some hawks. We'll have,
you could, since it's Behringer Palooza,
a chili cook-off.
You could do that, but you could have some dudes in lederhosen, or some girls in lederhosen serving beer. You know
hello,
what I'm saying?
hello. So yeah,
little I got German it, kind of thing going on. You know,
I got it, homie.
Oktoberfest, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Behringer Palooza, Oktoberfest. There it is. So how many Behringer synths are there available right at this moment, if you were to guess? In the chat, how many Behringer synths?
27, isn't there?
27 out right now? So it would take
let me look.
So let's just say, let's go off of 27 until you get the exact number. If there is 27, that means some months I could get 2 minis, right? So I'd say 2 years. If I start next month, I could have all the Behringer synthesizers in 2 years. Don't even say it, bro. How long is it going to take me?
43.
Oh, dude, are you serious? So
I don't know if those
that
might be doubled up though. Like
is that
out? Pretty much.
Wow.
But it might be doubled up. There might be like, because there's like, Behringer TD3 MO, there's a Behringer TD3 Tangerine. I'd say 27.
27 synths, 20 something. So I could do that in 2 years. I could do that in 2 years.
So would that mean that you would have to get all 3 Behringer 2600s?
No. Okay. No.
Just do like the Blue Meanie?
I do like the Blue Meanie, to be honest. Of all of them, I like the Blue Meanie the best. So say I had the Blue Meanie. All right. So since we're on the Behringer topic, let's hit the Behringer topic for a second here. The title of the show was, Has Behringer Ran Out of Clones? This week, it's a good question, right?
It is a great question.
This week we had, or not this week, the last 2 weeks we had the Model 15. Mm-hmm. We had the Korg Mini Pops clone. We had
pull that up.
The SY1 clone.
Yep.
We had the Elka Synthex clone. We had the JT16, the Prophet 5 clone.
The Pro 16.
The Pro 16, sorry. And I think that was just this week, I think, right?
Yeah.
The curious.
Also,
go on.
Also, I mean, I don't know if so the mutator is basically, it's a filter sweep, but I mean, it's.
Oh, the mutator. The mutator.
To me, that falls in line with synthesizers because of what it can do. You know what I mean? Dual
filter.
Yep.
2 filters. I'm very interested in the mutator. I think the mutator is super interesting. I didn't get to watch many videos on it, but my mind has already been turning. Like, what would that be like if you ran your whole mix through it? What would it be? What is it like if you just ran the drums through it?
Well, that's why. I mean, if you could download, was it SoftTube's version of it?
Yeah, SoftTube mutator, and just check it out, bro. You know I can't do that. I can't be getting no VSTs, dude. My Mac is unorganized enough as it is, man.
I'm gonna get you into Logic Pro. I am, man. I'm gonna get you into that, and I'm gonna get you to do some DAW stuff.
Hey, does anyone know the code to get into the Behringer Museum?
No.
Ooh, someone in the chat knows it though. So once I finish this synth collection, my end goal is to have a Behringer Museum, right? And
is it Slew?
No, it's Pink Polka Dot Chameleon.
Oh, that's right.
Right? So remember that. I'm never saying that ever again now. That's 3 times. I remember
you said that before.
That's 3 times. Pink Polka Dot Chameleon. And you're in. All right? Everyone else has to pay to get in. But if you say the password, you're in for free. I modified it. All right. So has Behringer ran out of clones? We had the SY1 and the Mini Pops were very interesting to me because I was like, why would you go clone those? And that's what made me think, are they running out or are they just going back to really unique, obscure ones, Yeah,
because I'm looking at the Mini Pop right now. That was very interesting.
It was an interesting one.
So it kind of reminded me of the CR78, the Cherry Audio.
Yeah.
Or the Roland one, actually.
Similar sound, kind of, right?
Well, it's because it's that old school, back in the old days, you'd go to buy an organ. Mm-hmm. And they would come with these little drum machines built into them, and then all of a sudden, like that became a thing amongst electronic musicians. So, yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I would prefer to see Behringer come out with like the CR78. I would prefer that one over that.
But you're going to get both.
Pops. I just, the Mini Pop, it sounds thin to me. And I remember, I'm so old, dude. I remember being at my neighbor's house and he played the organ. This guy could play the organ like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. And it had 2-tier keyboard. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was a Hammond or not, but he had the drum machine in it. I used to love going there and he would turn the drum machine on. It had different rhythms and stuff. So it sounded a lot like that. I mean, I guess there's a place for it. I don't know. But I was getting back to the question is Behringer had put out a recent thing on X and on Instagram and on Facebook. What would you like to see us create next? What would be your next?
Yeah.
And I answered them on all three platforms. And I said, please start creating your own stuff.
Pivot. It's pivot time.
It's time for Behringer to come out. Like you said, I think was it on it was on the car.
I said it a few times now.
You said, if Behringer has the knowledge, they have the technology, they have the engineers, they have Music Tribe is huge, right?
They've reverse engineered everything that's ever been iconic so far.
Right. So come out with something. I always point to the DeepMind 12 and the Neutron. Those are original synthesizers to me. Those weren't clones of anything. And I think at this point now, like you said, if they pivot towards doing that, dude, there's no stopping them.
They've got enough loyalty too.
Exactly.
I want a Behringer synthesizer. Like the DeepMind was super exciting to me. This is when I just started getting into the synthesizer game, and the DeepMind module was the first one I looked at because I didn't have a lot of money, and I was like, man, this looks so powerful for this price with everything else I'm looking at.
And it's poly.
And it was still too expensive for me at that time, so I couldn't get it. And it's poly, but I was super excited. And then I started realizing that they were doing clones.
Well,
and all this kind
Samurai,
of stuff.
the money that we raised for you, you could buy one.
Could get a DeepMind for that. I want a DeepMind Mark II, don't you? With a new screen.
See that? Yes, I need a new screen.
With a touch screen.
That would be cool.
Like, wouldn't it be amazing if Behringer said this? We started with the DeepMind, and we're going to use the DeepMind now as a bridge. We're going to bring out a hybrid DeepMind. You know?
We talked about the vintage. You know, with the long screen. I mean, you know, people will like poo-poo at it going, oh, they can't make a screen like that. Are you kidding me? We came up with how many examples of big screens that they have.
That's total
baloney.
I mean? Yeah, it's total baloney. You can make a touch screen now for nothing.
And I think that would be something really special if they came out with the vintage. I'll tell you what, that would give the Astrolab a run for its money.
It would give the Astrolab a run for its money, or the Polybrood or the Astrolab.
I'm going to say the Astrolab.
Yeah, I
get the Astrolab. You know, has the basically, you know, it's VSTs in a box. I don't see Behringer going the VST route. I think that was a test run for them to see how people would respond to it.
Me too.
I could be wrong.
I think it was a total head fake, and they were just foreshadowing that actual synthesizer that will be made at some point. Because to me, it's way too coincidental that 3 days ago they came out and actually said that they're going to be releasing state-of-the-art touchscreen technology in their synthesizers when they've released a giant picture of a synthesizer that is pretty much a whole touchscreen.
Yeah.
So to me, that was just an Easter egg, like they call it in video games. That was like, ooh,
right.
Let's tease this out. And then it's kind of temporal seeding. Then in the future, people can go back and go, oh, look what they did. You know?
Right.
Look what they did. They showed us they were going to do that.
See, and I think that would be such a smart move by them. Again, they have the technology and the engineers to do this stuff.
And they got enough clones now that they can release these clones for another 20 years, right? Because they've already put them all out. So now they're just can keep rolling them out, and now they can actually bridge.
See, here's the other thing. I thought about this. I said, one of the cool things is this all of a sudden, you know, the clones, some of them were a limited edition, right?
Yep.
So all of a sudden now they become collector's items. You know, you paid $399 for a Model D, right? And now it's a sought after little synthesizer. It's not a cheaply made synth by any means.
The gray Meanie and the blue Marvin.
Right? And all of a sudden they become collector's items. And you know, people poo-pooing me on that, but come on, man. You know, I hope that I'm right about this, because in 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
After they stopped making them, all of a sudden people are like on Reverb going, "Oh yeah, man, I got a Behringer Blue Meanie. I'm selling it for over $1,000."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what they're doing.
You know, I don't really believe that everybody says about Behringer about them being cheap.
Behringer Poly D, $5,000 in 10 years.
I've had my
Moog Model D will be going for $900, and the Poly D will be going for $5,000.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I've had my DeepMind 12 now for what, 5-6 years now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So no, I got it longer than that.
Yeah.
Because I got it 2-3 years before COVID. So, so it's almost 6-7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, and it still plays nice. It still has nice action on the keyboard. All the filters, everything works fine on it. The screen, again, I talked about it before, is a little dim, but I still could see it. It's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I use the software to control the sounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like, I think that, you know, Behringer is gonna, at some point right now, they have to pull something out of their behind, so to speak, that's going to really blow everybody's friggin' mind.
Well, speaking of blow minds, let me just do a screen share here and let's listen to that Elka synthesizer for a minute. See if I can do this. This is a little new option we're adding to the show here tonight. Let's see if we can do it properly without any hiccups.
That thing's a beast. All
right, so if we go over here, you see everything good there now, my brother?
Yep.
All right, so this is the Elka synthesizer. This is from Rosen Sound. I watched this the other day, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. Let's check it out.
Save big on Korg.
After the ad. All right, yeah, this is the Elka synthesizer from the Italian company.
I got the screen up, but everything's black.
Yeah, just waiting for the ad to finish playing.
Oh, okay.
So once the ad's done playing, we'll carry on. Because, you know, I'm too cheap to buy YouTube Premium.
I was gonna say, you got to get Premium,
Holy
brother.
God, you know, like you got Premium?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what kills me. It's like all these subscriptions are they start to add up, man.
Big time. So weird. It's weird that I'm not on the demo that I thought I was going to be on the Oberheim demo. Hold on a second here.
Oh yeah. What's up with that?
Oh, pick the wrong demo. Let me just type it in.
Wow, it's Nick Bat all over again.
Yeah. Dude.
Now you know how Nick feels, dude.
I know, because you got it all geared up perfectly, and then it's like, it just doesn't work. So Nick Bat's a legend, man, to do that every week. All right, so here we go. You see it? Chat, can you see that? I'm sure you can.
I love it when Nick's mic is muted and he says, "Everybody take a drink."
Yeah. So we're just going to play a little clip here of this. You hear that?
Yeah. It almost sounds digital.
Yeah. I mean, if Behringer can nail this, dude, think about it.
It's a big synth too.
Like, they would make it as chunky, but it would come in the UBXA form, don't you think? Or, oh, I got an idea. All right, let's listen a couple more seconds and then everyone can go check it out on their own. Do you hear that stereo panning?
Stereo panning's great.
I mean, come on, brother. That's a beautiful synth, isn't it?
It is. It really is, man. I said to you before, I've never even heard of it. Listen to that.
Dude, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you something right now, brother. If Behringer can nail that, that's just the synth. It's got the effects built in. So when you look at that's a huge chunky synth, right?
It is. It's big.
They're also talking about cloning CS80. They're not putting that CS80 in a UBXA case. So maybe these two are going to be the big chunkers for their last form factor.
I personally, how many people in the chat know or like the CS80?
I know Synthpunk hates it.
I'm right there with them.
Synthpunk thinks it's like doesn't have as many.
It's ugly as. Never mind. It's real ugly, and I never liked that synthesizer. Yes, there were a lot of great sounds that came out of that in the 80s. A lot of bands had used that synth, but I would prefer over that. If I say that was available and the Jupiter 8 was available, I'd opt for a Jupiter 8.
Jupiter 8 looks better in my opinion too. I don't know. That's
it
just
not
me.
only looks better, it sounds better, in the architecture of how it works is better.
Synthpunk's buddy had a CS80 and he just sold it for $50,000.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous, dude.
Like, isn't that crazy?
And it's yes,
that's crazy.
That's a brand new car. Sorry.
What do you think's prettier, the CS80, the Jupiter 8, or the Behringer UBXA? Pretty. Or the Synthex. I pick Synthex. Elka Synthex for me that's real nice looking, man.
Again, I don't know anything about that synthesizer. I've never even heard of it before. It's funny because I've heard about all the Russian synths back in the day and stuff like that. And, the Cobol and all those synths. But I never heard of that synth. So it is nice looking.
A lot of CS80 lovers in the chat, brother.
I'm sorry. I will say that the UDO?
Yeah, UDO
It
Super
kind of
Gemini.
reminds me of a UDO. I got a chance to play that synthesizer at NAMM, and that's a really nice synth, man. That's a definite gas for me, but it's so friggin' expensive, dude.
And apparently they're making that, and the Hydra Synth are making real big use of the FPGA chips that came onto the scene there a couple of days ago. It's the first I ever heard of them. I'm not an internal gut synth guy. I don't know anything about that stuff, but started reading about it, and those chips are absolutely mind-blowing what those things can do,
And going back to what you said too, like, what ECHOKRAFT was saying about the synthesizers not being what they were. Back then they had the chips that they made and the things that they did, the new synths of today aren't like that. The technology that we have today to create those chips, to me, number one, it's better because they can mass produce them. But back then, like he was saying, they don't, the synths don't sound like the OBX8 doesn't even come close to the original.
No.
Is it an Oberheim sound? Sure. That's because of the filter. You know what I mean? I have to agree with what he said about that. The other thing is, a lot of people like the CS80 or whatever it's called.
CS80, baby. They love it.
I remember that thing. I remember seeing it at eWurlitzer in Boston. And everybody was drooling over it. I forget what was the big name band that used that. I'm trying to think.
Old Vangelis loved it.
Yeah, he did. I just think that there are better synthesizers out there than I really hope Behringer scraps that.
Yeah. All right, Uli, if you're listening, get rid of the CS80. Don't clone that one. But if they did clone, okay, so let's get back on topic. So if they cloned the Synthex, that would be, and they could make it sound like that. They don't have something out that sounds like that yet. I don't think. Not with that. If that sound from Rosen Sound demo is true, I haven't heard anything from Behringer that sounds anything like that yet.
No. That's truly unique.
You know, and the mini pops. Do you care about the mini pops?
Not especially. You know, here's the thing. Even like the looks of the Lindrum that they're building, man, that thing's huge, dude.
Yeah.
Even the RD9 and the RD8, those are big drum machines.
Yeah.
They're bigger than the TR8 and TR8S that I have.
First time I saw the RD8, I was blown away at the size of it. I was like, there's no way that's big. Oh my God, dude, that's crazy. I was like, I can't get that because I don't have anywhere to put something that big just for drums.
I think because it's so big, they're so big is because they have, just like the originals, they have the individual outs on them, which I thought is that's awesome. You know, there's not a whole lot of drum machines that do that anymore. And that's why back in the day when people were using the TR-909 and the 808, they had individual outs that they could plug directly into separate channels on the mixing board so they could add effects to them. And that's why they sounded so big and badass. So I think that's the reason why they're so big is because they do have those external outputs on them. But, you know, I have no place to put those. I would love, because I have a TR9. Is it TR09?
I'd like to get the RD9 and there's nobody that can say the RD8 doesn't sound amazing.
It sounds amazing.
And it sounds gigantic.
It sounds amazing. And it has a lot of features that the original doesn't even have.
Yeah. That's what Behringer's doing. No one gives them credit because they're, like I said, this is where we go back to, okay, are they running out of clones? Probably not, but maybe because guess what? You can clone things all the way up to today. So they'll never run out of clones. But
I don't know, really?
I mean, they could clone the Udo Super Gemini. So you know what I mean? So they could clone everything right up to now if they want.
But see, that's where I get upset.
Oh, that's what gets your little your Behringer.
Because if you're gonna do something
that's where you draw the line.
Yeah, man. Just like build your own synth then. If you're going to do something like that, build your own synth, put the Behringer name on it, the logo, and say, this is what we're doing now. And you know what? And even really, to really piss them off, throw the price tag on there. I think that the UBXA price tag is perfect for that synthesizer.
Yeah, I do too.
So you come out with something like the UDO Gemini, and I mean, to me, it's like, why would you do that when you could come out with your own synthesizer?
Agree.
Throw a $1,200 price tag on it and call it a day.
Agree. I agree wholeheartedly. The cool thing they're doing about the old synths is, like that article I was saying today, they're working with the original producer of design of the mutator. So you can't hate on them for cloning the mutator because the guy who invented it is like, I'm working on this because I want to bring it back.
Softtube did it.
Yeah, so give me a break. But
I'm just sick of this shit. Softtube creates the original, right?
Yeah.
But it's software. It doesn't count. What do you mean it doesn't count? It's still cloned.
A clone doesn't matter if it's physical or digital. A clone is a clone, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we all agree that's nonsense. There's no more.
One of the other things I just wanted to touch on too.
Yeah.
I always wanted a wasp and I always wanted a cat.
Yeah.
Now I haven't, right? Are they exact? Hell no. The chips and everything back then, the way they were wired,
is
completely different.
Dude, even twins aren't the same.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So clones definitely aren't.
Are they close to what I remember them? Yes. And they sound amazing. That last track I sent in the Kumite was 2 wasps, the cat, and the mini freak.
That's amazing.
That was it.
That's amazing.
So I mean, like those 3 units right there, that little rack that I have that you saw, that it's so much fun. to mess around with.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mini Freak is just a beast. It really is. I don't know. I don't think it gets enough credit either.
Whoa, someone just said in the chat, Behringer announced a few months ago that they're moving into a new era where the focus is going to be shifting from clones to originals. So
there it is.
And if you're listening, Uli, we're ready, baby. The Behringer Bros, we're mounted up and ready to ride. We're ready to ride the originals. Let's go. You got enough of an army behind you now.
I'll make room for it.
I want an original Behringer. I want an original Behringer that in 20 years will be worth $50,000.
Have you ever seen the
Can it happen?
Have you ever seen the first synth that Uli built when he was a kid?
No, I want to go check that out.
That's freaking weird looking, dude.
We'll bring that up on the next podcast too. What's it look like? We'll bring a picture up.
I remember it being shiny and blue, and it was weird.
Let me see if I can find it now. So shiny blue. What do you think it would be under? Uli's first synth?
Yeah.
Uli Behringer's first synthesizer. All right, let's see if we can get a picture. Ooh, the UB1?
Is that what it was?
Let's see here. Let me just jump over.
I remember seeing it. This is a couple of years ago when I saw it. Somebody had sent it to me, and I said, "That's cool."
Now, is this it here? You tell me. I got it pulled up. I'm going to share the screen with you again. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
The UB1. Uli Behringer, the company's founder, was committed to music and technology from a very young age, and he had constructed the synthesizer, the UB1. Man, what a legend Uli is. Can everybody just give this guy a break? What a legend.
Can you make that a bigger picture?
Let me see.
There it is.
There it is. See if I can make it even bigger than that. I don't got Facebook. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
That is
that thing.
You know what? How about this, Uli? You know what Uli should do? Bring it to UBX. Well, I guess he's already going to do that. So now I can't do that. UB1000. UB1000, dude. Like T1000 in Terminator.
Look at that thing.
That's absolutely crazy. And he made that at 16?
Yeah, he made that. He built that himself.
Yeah, exactly. Uli Behringer, 16 years old, first synthesizer he ever made. And Echo, my friend, would you like to tell the beautiful people why he did that?
Well, because he always played keyboards, and he loved synthesizers. So he always wanted to do a synthesizer.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was his dad that started the company.
And he couldn't afford one, right? So he's like, I'll build my own then.
That's what he did.
I can't afford the big Moogies and the C keys.
From what I understand too, I mean, at one point he had sold the name. This is years ago when they had, remember the original Behringer Air?
Yes.
The original logo was just like an air. It was actually really detailed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was him and his dad, I think, ran the company at that point. And then his dad had passed away or something like that. This is what I read. I don't know how true this is.
When did Sven Silver come into the picture?
I don't know. And I know that the name got sold. And then Uli, I remember this for a fact, when Uli came back, he said, we're going to start focusing on synthesizers.
Mm-hmm.
And because that was his passion. And I don't think his father really saw that.
And to build that at 16 years old, brother, like think about you when you're 16, you know? So like, that's impressive.
So that's why I'm saying, like, Uli gets a bad rap. I think his PR people are the ones that screw shit up for him. But,
well,
I think
it depends on what you call screw up, because
I just think of all the bad press and things that he's gotten, and, the whole cloning thing, and like, shut up. You know what I mean? Everybody's been cloning. Again, I'm going to say this one more time.
Yeah.
Those guitars on the wall. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, isn't an Epiphone a clone? I know it's part of Gibson, but it's a clone, right? It's a clone of a Gibson Les Paul, right?
Yep.
Somebody's going to say, well, it's still part of, Gibson. Well, right. But how many guitars are out there that shaped like Fender Stratocasters,
mm-hmm.
right? They don't call them a Strat, but it looks like a Strat.
And is it a clone? Do they call it a clone?
No, this is what I'm saying.
Do you want to check this out for a second? Uli's, let's check this out for a quick second. Let me share this here.
I know we talk about this a lot. It's just, and it's a really dying discussion at this point, but I'm just tired of like people trashing Behringer.
Thank you so much, Tor. Now, I am here with a very
really
special
good.
guest. We have Uli Behringer here. Thank you so much for joining us today. So happy to have you here. And we're actually going to be taking some questions and answers from you live from Facebook. So if you have any questions from Uli later on, start to think about them, write them in the comments, and we're going to be taking those questions. So Uli, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Roxanne.
So we're super excited to be here, and I know that you are also excited to be here in our music studios, Los Angeles.
Is anyone here?
Yes.
Okay, we've got a few people here. I'm very excited to be here, and in particular, I'd like to say hello to all the audience out there who's watching us. It's a very exciting moment. It's the launch of our DeepMind.
Uli's kind of like Elon Musk. He doesn't look human.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to talk about what this facility is. This is Music Studios, where we do all our social media videos. We have a whole crew of video teams, and we also have people here who are on social media, help people answer questions. And I would like to say hello to the team. Are they here?
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions,
okay, she's obnoxious.
anything we can help on social media, just remember, these are guys here who help you out.
All right. So Uli, I just want to ask you, first things first, why a synthesizer? I mean, this is Behringer's very first synthesizer. What kind of made you, want to create the DeepMind 12?
I guess it starts with my old man. My dad was a nuclear physicist and a church organ player. He was one of those mad scientists who was crazy enough to build a church organ in our own house.
You had a full church organ in your house?
We had a church organ.
Wow.
I think it was 1,200 pipes. And his whole passion was this organ. That was his love of his life. And he spent all his life building it. And on the weekends, he would entertain our neighbors, whether they liked it or not. That thing was really, really loud. But it was a time when I was a little boy and could watch over his shoulder and learn from him, obviously music and electronics. And guess what? That's what I've been doing all my life.
So it obviously came from your dad, and you basically had, this is actually a picture of the pipe organ that was where in your house was this? Because it looks huge.
Yeah, it was huge. It was, it was on the attic of our house.
All right, you get the idea. Anyway, so you want to go check that out. That's Uli Behringer. You don't get to hear him speak much, but you did get to hear him speak back when he was involved in the DeepMind 12 creation. And that was Behringer's first synthesizer?
Yes.
The DeepMind. So very, very cool. Go check out that video on your own because I don't want to play it the whole time.
It's really good. I've watched the whole thing.
It's a good video.
Like I said,
cool.
she's kind of obnoxious, but
yeah,
little LA girl.
Yeah. So anyway, let's button it up. Behringer, have you come to the end of the clones? Who knows? But everybody is now ready for the originals. If the clones keep coming, they keep coming. But we're all ready for some originals. We're excited. Listen, the excitement for original is at an all-time high. And if you guys nail it, there it is. You're going to be. And Epson Craft was saying that Behringer always has poor coding and stuff. I don't really ever hear much about that. So I don't know where that came from. And they always seem to be doing firmware updates to more often than other companies are to improve things when people are like, hey, we'd like to see, like when they brought out the Pro 800 in the exact same form factor as the original, and everyone was like, the original was good, but can you make the envelopes a bit snappier? Because the original envelopes, you cloned it perfectly. Can you unclone it a little bit so we get some snappier envelopes? And he's like, no problem. Boom, well, bam, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to do the firmware updates on the Wasp and the Cat and the Edge. And then I did it on the MS1. So they are constantly, I like the software too, the Music Tribe software. It's very easy to use.
Simple.
You just plug a USB cable in and boom, you're done.
Yeah. Upgraded.
which is nice. You know, I do like Arturia stuff, but I will say Arturia's software tends to be kind of weird sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things I thought was interesting was the Hydra Synth software
Mm-hmm.
is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
Hydra Synth
just
software is really,
Dragging
really
and dropping
good.
stuff, and just like
Korg's is not the greatest.
Korg's
It's
gotten better, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
I don't know about their VST matching, but their software of bringing patches in and out of the synth is a bit annoying. But
it's gotten better, trust
Yeah.
me, because we used to use SysX.
SysX.
And I use SysX. I have a SysX librarian right here for the DeepMind 12 to drop in patches that I buy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have to use SysX for that. You can't use the Behringer software to do that. But still, doesn't matter. It works. It's simple. It's an old school way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know. But yeah, no, man, I think everybody should watch that video. Another video that I encourage people to watch is the history of Korg.
Oh yeah, I want to watch that one too. I've seen that one floating around a bunch.
I think I sent that to you too. It's really, really, really good. Like, you're going to be like, wow.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one.
It's really cool. It's educational, and it's mind blowing. It really is. The one about Roland is awesome too. If you guys ever check that out, the history of Roland. I'm trying to think of, I always forget his name. He passed away a couple of years ago. The guy who built, basically, the Japanese man who built the TR3, the TB303 and the 808. He had a lot to do with a lot of the Juno 106. But it's a good video to watch. It's very inspirational. But just, you know, even like the history of Moog is great. You get to see Bob Moog talking and about different things. And, you know, I mean, again, those are the
I
pioneers.
like a lot of the
guys.
old. I got to get into those. And I also want to get, you know, any good synthesizer books and stuff?
Stay away from
What?
the ones that all the you know, the Synth Mafia put out.
Yeah, what are they called again? The Patch and something?
You know, man, I'm not paying $80 for a friggin' book. You know, come on.
The Synth Mafia, man.
You know, there are some really good books out there. I have one. It's called the Encyclopedia of Synthesizers.
Yeah.
I have an older version of it, but every year they come out with a new one, and they put all the new stuff in it, and big colorful pictures and amazing descriptions and history. So you should check that out. And it's good to learn. Like, it's a good reference guide too. If you want to like check out some old stuff and say, hey, where did this come from? You know? When I did, I had a project that I called just GRC. And I put out an album, and it had an original, very first synthesizer ever made back in the 1800s. And it was god-awful ugly, and that was my album cover. The name of the album was called Spiritually Ill.
You got some great albums and album covers, dude. Hey, you got a t-shirt shop up too you're starting?
I'm starting it. Yeah, I'm having some difficulties though. I have one on my website. You can just get regular ECHOKRAFT t-shirts. I believe it's through Redbubble. I think that's the company. Or no, what's the other one? I don't know. It's been so long since I looked at it. Teespring.
Teespring, yeah.
Yeah.
If you have some trouble, give me a call tomorrow. I'll help you out with the Canva, because there's another couple things. You got to click a button that says transparent background, and that removes colors and stuff.
I did that too, man. And I'm sitting there going, what is going on? But how'd you like that design I sent you though?
I love it. It's wicked. Awesome t-shirt. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. And I'm getting kind of back into putting my name in Japanese and stuff.
Oh, cool.
You know, because I have that on my keyboard, but if you see my latest video that I'm going to be releasing tomorrow, I managed to put it down right underneath my name. I mean, right underneath my headshot. So that took a little bit of doing with OBS. I'm like, what the frig am I doing, man? But I got it done anyway.
OBS is, dude, OBS is, once you get it going, it's good, but man, it's so not finicky, but it takes a bit of time. It's like you got to build your little castle, and once your castle's built, then you just have to be careful not to like.
Oh, so, and like this new camera I hooked up, right? I was like, I don't know, can I get that new camera happening? Will it let me do that? Let's see.
That's right. We were saying earlier too, next week, we won't do it this week because we'll clue up now, but next week we'll, a lot of people have been writing and talking and asking too, like, hey, I'm thinking about setting up a YouTube channel. I want to put some of my music on YouTube. I want to do some videos. How should I do it? Where should I start? You got a lot of experience with the YouTube channel. I've got a little bit of experience now. So maybe
no, you got a lot of experience. Don't sell yourself short.
Well, I have a lot of experience in a short amount of time. Okay. Maybe, but next episode, we'll talk about it a little and maybe give some tips or whatever. I just want to say
one thing though.
Yeah, well,
you know, you were saying you're calling yourself the king of cringe, right? Hey, dude, if you go, I think we all are.
Dude, you heard the Frog Synth song?
That was cool though. So I went back because you got me like looking at my stuff, and I went way back.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like it was awful, dude. Like at one point I'm unboxing a synthesizer in my hallway on the floor on the carpet, like And like, I was wondering why nobody watched my shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I think we're all in the beginning. We're just, cause you know, Gary V was like, all you need is an iPhone and a YouTube channel. That's all you need. No.
Yeah. You need a little more of that, but we'll save this cause this is a good topic for next show. Yeah. But the key about all this stuff is, again, it goes back to the Kumite, what do you want? The Kumite mantra is, don't overthink it. Just start and do it and course correct as you go. Because if you just start and go, you'll figure it out and you'll make mistakes. But you got to learn all the stuff too. You got to, because not only you have to learn, you know what it's like learning a synthesizer with video. You're adding a whole nother element. You got to learn the audio. You got to learn the video. You got to learn the graphic. You got to learn the editing. And you know my style. My style. I've got this very illusionary style. I have no editing. I don't edit any videos. So via OBS and scene switching, it might look like there's some edits happening, but it's all done live, one take. And that makes it a very efficient production unit, you know? There's no filming a ton of crap and then spending 4 or 5 weeks editing it together, finding where you need to jump clip stuff, you know?
I guess maybe because I do a lot of editing with my video. But literally I got a flow down. Like I literally, when I edit, I'm done in like an hour.
Well, that's cool. So we got 2 different styles. So I think this is a great conversation to have for a lot of people. Because even after the Kumite, a bunch of people wrote me. They're like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? And, you know, one person was like, I want to put up music. And I'm like, well, YouTube is very rough for putting music up. Like the algorithm is very unforgiving to a music video. Because YouTube wants to be TV, it doesn't want to be radio, right? So if you're a musician and you've been putting music up and you're not getting any views and stuff, it's not because your music isn't good or you're not making a good video. It's just because the algorithm wants to discourage that type of content, you know?
That's right.
So like one of the things that I've been reading about a lot is if you are a musician, the type of content that YouTube favors is content where you would say, turn on all your gear and you would start making music for an hour or 2. And then as you're making it, you might be explaining what you're doing, you know?
Right.
And live style, it doesn't have to be edited. You might be explaining what you're doing. And then at the end of it, suddenly your track comes together, you know? Right. That's the kind of music that YouTube favors and what the platform kind of wants when it comes, because it wants commentary and engagement and all this. So if you pop up a 3-minute YouTube video that's just music, and you're struggling to, because I was struggling forever on YouTube, not struggling because I wasn't really, but like visually struggling, saying, oh man, 30 views, 20 views, 15 views, 20 views, 40 views, 50 views. And I'm like, dude, I've put up 200 videos. Surely there's more than 20 people that should have probably clicked on this.
No, I hear you.
You know what I mean? And then I was like, okay. So there's this weird thing. But anyways, that's a cool topic to talk about.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
quick too. I
Yeah.
just want to see if this works.
Yeah, switch it over.
No?
You've went dark, my friend.
All right, hold on.
You might have to turn on the lights, and if there's an NPC behind you, run.
Hold on. Give me a sec.
Oh yeah, take your time, man. We're all good.
Oh, maybe not. This is one of the problems that I was having with this. All right, here we go.
Is it on?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah, works good, man. That's crystal clear too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right on the
it's-
Hydra, dude. The Hydra's got the best
Screensaver.
yeah, the way the lights flicker like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
it's just really like interesting. Like, I'll just show you real quick.
Yeah,
what
let's
this
see
does.
it.
I'll turn it around. And so as I move,
Ooh.
the camera moves with me.
Okay.
And I'll come more closer over here. I'll go this way.
I like how it's zoomed in. Dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty smooth as well.
Yeah. It's really smooth actually. And it's got a couple of different features on it. It's got like, you know, I'm a little on the heavy side because I've gained a lot of weight, so I can actually make myself thinner.
What? Oh, on the camera?
Yeah. But yeah, no, man, it's pretty cool. I just like the fact that it just tracks you.
Oh, you definitely got to do a video where you're just going around the studio talking about your synthesizers.
Well, watch this too. Like, so if I go up, let's see. Yeah, let's see if this works. So I should, yeah. So it'll follow me up.
Oh yeah, I bet you can put it on a track exactly on what part of your body you want it to track too.
Yeah, it says, so right now I have on close up. I can also do upper body. So now it's going to actually bring me back a little bit.
Oh wow, dude, it's like you got your own cameraman.
Yeah. So if I sit down, it'll go back and it's pretty smooth.
Oh,
man, you know
bro,
what I
that's
mean?
smooth as silk.
And then it'll adjust again. And there we are.
What's the name of that one again? What's the name of that?
This is called the OBS
Yeah.
bot. So OBS bot.
OBS bot, OBS bot.
Yeah. And it was like a lot of people rave about it. This is the 4K version.
Yeah.
I don't have it on 4K. I thought the 4K was kind of eh. So I have it on 1080p at 60 frames per second. So it's kind of like a DSLR. I also have it now I have
Couple people like you could do a guided tour, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? But I also have it, the software is amazing. It's like the Elgato software where you could go in and change the frame rate. You could change the shutter speed. You can go in and change, oh, watch this too. This is kind of cool. You ready?
Yeah.
So if I turn this off, let's see if I can get this to work. So I can manually zoom in.
Oh man, you get right in there, dude.
But there's also the gimbal part of it. And let's see if I can get that to work. Yeah, here we go. So now I can move it around myself manually. It's got like a little gimbal knob on the software. So I'm just dragging the mouse around.
And how much is that camera, if you don't mind sharing?
I got it on sale at, I can switch back now. Where am I? Here we are. Yeah, so I got it on sale at on Amazon. It was normally, I think, $125. I got it for $119.
$119 for a camera with that type of capability is a good deal.
Yeah. So
Big
it's pretty
time
cool.
good deal. And it's clear. You don't, like, a lot of people think you need these big DSLR $5,000 cameras again to do video work. You don't, man.
No,
I
and
use
that's
my
why,
iPhone. Everything I do is on my iPhone.
yeah, well, I do like overhead shots and stuff with my iPhone, but like this camera that I'm using right now, this is the Elgato face cam.
Yeah.
They just came out with the Mark II. I actually bought a second one because I was going to use that for that camera shot, and it wouldn't work. It would only work if I got the Mark II. It had to be a different name.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, so it wouldn't work. So I ended up sending it back, and I said, "What else is there out there that's, you know, DSLR style?" And I found this thing, and they have a whole line of stuff They have the cameras you can mount in the ceiling and they follow you, they track you around and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I got to check out Ozbot because
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool, interesting things I think you can do in a small space when you got your studio to make it engaging. Because the thing is like, how do you create movement and variety when you're doing something where you're still? And that camera does it.
What was that? What was his name? Culture Vulture. What's his name?
Vulture Culture.
Vulture Culture. You know, I think you had asked him what the camera was that he was using that night when we were on his live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he had some camera rig.
Mm-hmm.
This thing does what he has.
Oh, he had the camera that was going like this across the screen. Motorized camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that probably cost him like $6,000.
Yeah. Can you make that camera go like this, back and forth?
Well, it'll just follow you. It just tracks you.
Yeah.
However, the thing that I sent you by them, will do that. It'll follow you back and forth.
That's interesting.
Which is pretty cool.
The cool thing his was doing was just panning the synths.
Right.
Yeah. And his stream is actually on Wednesday nights. I think it's 9:30.
Oh,
so
really?
Maybe be able to pop over there and see what he's at.
Yeah,
he's got a cool
stuff.
stream. I really enjoyed his stream last week. It was something very relaxing about listening to him just filter sweep those two analog synths.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What did he have? The Moog, The Moog, that yellow and blue one.
The
Moog Source.
Yeah.
And he had the SH1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was just filter sweeping.
That sounded
for
great.
An hour. It was amazing. I loved it.
I thought the Roland was good, but the Moog was warmer, man.
I like the Moog Source too. It sounded nice.
But that's another. He's got a ton of analog, old school, vintage synths, and everybody. I know we got to go, but everybody that talks about that stuff, man, they all say the same thing. Synth punk said it. It's like, you have to maintain that stuff all the time, because it's old.
Yeah. Even Espen said in his video, he's like, man, I got to clean this thing this many times, blah, 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 blah. So actually next Wednesday, tentatively, we're going to do that Synth Show podcast similar to this, episode 2, and it's going to be myself, ECHOKRAFT, and the return of Synth Punk part 2. And we got some topics that we're all going to be debating and discussing.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Synth punk. We had a discussion a couple days ago about, the redundancy of vintage synthesizers, and he's got an opinion on that. I don't want to what do they call it? Crap on the lead or whatever they say in the news. But it basically are vintage synthesizers redundant.
No spoilers, dude.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about that and God knows what else. And it'll be a 3-man show, so tune into that. We're going to do it next Wednesday. I'll put the time up once we figure out what time it'll happen. Check out Echo's channel. Get over there, ECHOKRAFT's amazing videos on there. Epic one on the Hydra Synth you just did. And then a bunch of other awesome videos and content on there as well. If you want a Kumite t-shirt, you know where to go. They're in the Synth Samurai shop. Echo's t-shirt shop will probably be up next week, maybe. We'll throw the link down if you get it up.
Like
we'll see what
said,
happens.
you could still go on to ECHOKRAFT.com and go into my merch there. And I do have some old school t-shirts that I had done.
Sweet.
They're not, I don't charge too much for my shirts, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, sweet.
But gotta get the new ones up though.
Gotta get the new ones up, man. I'm excited too. I'm gonna pick one up for sure. And and I got that little outdoor setup that I'm working on now where I can play some synths outdoors in the summer.
Which is cool.
So we'll see how it goes. Tonight I got thunderstormed on, so I had to cut that thing short. So the suspense, yeah,
you don't want to get zapped, man.
No, man. And I was like, is finishing this stream worth ruining my beautiful little mini freak? And I was like, I don't think so. But I took it to the limit, baby. I took it to the limit. So anyways, thanks to the chat for joining us. This is Synth Fighter Podcast. Absolutely fantastic. Stick around for a second, Echo, and we'll talk back in the green room. And
again, that money is for you.
Thank you, man. And thank all you guys for in the Kumite for that. That's absolutely mind blowing. And I'm humbled that you guys would even do something like that, man. Thank you. All right.